This is Alan Brocken. Now that my kids are grown up, they say I'm the cool dad everybody talks about. But I gotta say, that was not always the case. There were a lot of days when I was not cool, I wasn't fun, I just didn't even have any words. There were days. I mean, and those days were pretty tough on all of us. So now that they're out of the house, I'm here to share some tips and tricks on staying connected to your family when you just don't have any words. And I'm going to give you a hand by giving you out your own dad word of the day. And so let's just talk about today's dad word. It's going to be son. We're going to be talking about sons and, boys in the house. And I'll be sharing my thoughts about raising them as well as a joke or two. So let's get started. Now, as a parent, the most important thing is to make sure that you put your oxygen mask on before helping others, right? That's what they say in the airplanes. So what I'd like you to do is just take a minute and let's get some oxygen. Just breathe in through your mouth, out through your nose. Breathe in through your mouth really deep, out through your nose. And I want you to keep doing that because part of the thing is if you're going to learn stuff, if you're going to lock it in, you need lots of oxygen in your brain. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of move on into God's word because I feel like God had this idea of family from the beginning. And so this week's memory verse is from John 1:18. No one has ever seen God but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. John 1:18. No one has ever seen God but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. Are you still breathing? Take it slow. And I want you to just start hanging up your stuff from the day, right? I'm sure there's some duty that you're holding on to, like you're doing something out of a sense of duty to your boss, your customers. Maybe it's an external family member, something that's distracting you from connecting with your family. I want you to just take that duty and hang it up for just a minute because I think at the end of the day we need to make sure that we're expressing the right things to our family and that we're getting connected. So, today's great word is from Representative W.P. Milos from Kentucky in 1858. The phrase is vote early and vote often. Now, I found this one, getting this from my bonus data, I was kind of like, what's your point here? And to be honest, as a kid, I heard this a lot. I heard vote early, vote often. I don't know, I just thought that was part of my duty, that my civic duty was to vote. But actually, this is really tongue-in-cheek, and different people over history have used it. Apparently, Al Capone used vote early, vote often to describe voting in Chicago, that, basically there was a lot of corruption and things like that. But at the end of the day, every duty we might have could be corrupted, right? Your devotion to do a good job at work can at some point be manipulated, changed, whatever. And so now you're so focused on that, you're not paying attention to your family. And the thing is, whether it's political corruption or it's just, a lack of paying attention to the other duties you might have around the home, we need to be careful what duties we kind of, take on, right? And so, if you're going to take on the duty to vote, make sure you're informed. Make sure that you understand who the candidates are, understand the issues. And because at the end of the day, if your kids see you do something, sloppy, that's probably how they're going to do it because values are caught, not taught at the end of the day. Right? They're gonna follow your behavior. So I totally believe that we all have a duty as Americans, anyway. Those of you who are in America, and I'm sure there's possibly people from other countries that there's also a duty to vote. We want to do that duty, but let's do it well. And at the end of the day, there's probably some other duties you have that are going on that you want your kids to pick up as you go about your day and you think about things that you do out of a sense of duty. Are you doing it in a way that is honorable, right? Like this whole vote early, vote often, a lot of that was about corruption. We don't want to be corrupt in doing our duty. We want to do it well. And, at the end of the day, I want to be clear. I'm not advocating a particular platform, right? This is really just about educating yourself and your family on the issues about your conscience and sharing those with your family. Because if your kids see you getting educated and then voting your conscience, they're going to get educated and vote their conscience. Having a tough time getting started here with this duty, the duty to vote or any other duty, need to talk it out. Join us on Facebook in the Daily Dad Words discussion group. Link is in the description. Are you still breathing? When I think about duty, there's this story about Harry Mosley that really, it kind of hooked me because he found a duty to others despite his own just horrible situation. In 2007, he was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor. And then he found out about an elderly friend with the same condition. And that elderly friend died in the hospital. Harry was so taken, emotionally charged about losing this family friend. He took it upon himself to try and come up with a cure. And so he began a campaign to raise money for brain research in the UK around tumors. His campaign is called Help Harry, Help Others. The campaign spread across Britain and raised over £15,000 to deal with cancer research. And he would go do demonstrations at his schools. He'd make bracelets for other kids to do and all kinds of things to fundraise. If you want to learn more about Harry's story, you can click the link in the description and you can find out about his charity there. Help Harry, Help Others. Are you still breathing? If my breathing exercise isn't enough, how about we try some parent jokes to kind of get the blood rolling? Did you hear about the buffalo that took his son to school? Yeah, when he dropped him off, he said, "Bye, son." No, not funny? Okay, all right, how about this one? So I was traveling for work, and it was my son's 4th birthday. I kind of missed it, and when I got back, I was completely surprised. I didn't recognize my son. I'd never seen him before. No, not funny. All right. Well, you come up with your own son-related pun, funny story, or maybe just an anecdote about when you were a kid to share with your family. Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Dad Word. If you're looking for some inspiration for your family time, check us out at dailydadword.com/dailydadword. Link in the bio. I'm working on some cool dad projects that might be fun to do with your family. That should be coming out here in the next couple of weeks. And there's just a number of other resources there to plant a seed for a lifetime relationship with your family, including a link to the Daily Dad Word Discussions Facebook group. If you found this focus time useful, click the like and subscribe and be notified about the next day's show. See ya.